aspect of it not good. It might not have made it not good.
You got unanimous.
It outweighed the other stuff. Well, I ain't saying that, but I'm just saying, if you walk, if you moonwalk.
I wanted to ask the ladies a question because this question comes up all the time, and it is: have you run into issues with men actually planning dates? Because that's like a humongous repetitive conversation.
Lazy. Sorry.
Interesting. Don't decide.
No, it's been 50-50. I had somebody who, if I let them attach themselves to my skin, they would have been present. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I just want to be next to you. And I was like, okay.
So is the planning the date? Where do you want to go and where do you want to do, or do they just surprise you?
We had already discussed things that we wanted to do, and we would decide, okay, which one we were going to do at what time.
You seem like you about to bust.
I know,
Yes,
right?
Go ahead.
I have something to say about this. You have something to say, but I'll let you finish about the plan.
Go ahead.
Okay, I guess So, I remember I used to date this girl. She had the most fun. I had the most fun dating her. The deal was, she planned the dates. She picked the restaurants. She picked the activities. I paid for it, right? Because planning dates and all of that stuff was just not something I did. It really gives me anxiety because a lot of times women are really hard to please because they all are really particular. And so things that men, don't really give too sense about, women give a lot of sense about. But she just saw, okay, this is just not something he does, or this is whatever. And she just adapted to that. And we had the most fun. Sometimes I think that women become obsessed with feeling special. That y'all are so,
What? It's a new phenomenon.
You are welcome to disagree. But I think that women become so obsessed with feeling special that they mess up what can be a good thing.
Elaborate, you mean planning the date?
Entitled. Entitled. He needs entitled.
No, because it's like the big one of the. I just want to make this. I just want him to really think of me and do all of this.
What I
and
deserve.
to make sure that he knows
She sound like
that he's
See, her like the queen.
Yes, sir. He's paying attention to the things that I like, and so I just want him to put all this effort, and I want him to plan this and plan that. It's like y'all become
We
so
just
obsessed.
want you guys to take lead. Because if you're in a relationship.
So look.
It's only head for that stuff. But
No, because that's no offense, but that is always a real convenient thing.
Yes.
That a lot of women are like, we just want somebody to take lead. We just want you to show
No, I
this.
didn't sound like that.
But sometimes the thing is that people are what they are. Some people do some things well, some people don't. And then you have to look at a situation and say, is this more good than bad? And if that's not their thing, but they do everything else, well, then you say, okay, I'll plan the dates. You can pay for them. But sometimes y'all get so focused on just this thing because I want him to make me feel special in this particular way, you end up going without.
I can actually I don't know about the feeling special part, because you should want to make that person feel special. But I do understand, because I'm an event planner and I do the big events. And when I talk to people, like, I don't know how you did that. I would have so much anxiety. And, even on a smaller scale, people do have, like you said, anxiety around planning stuff. And is it going to be right? And is it going to be on time? And is it this and that and the other? I get that people have anxiety about different stuff. But I think that if men, I have not had issues with men planning dates. I think Chicago men plan some best dates. I've had some of the most fun here. But I think, you said what? But I do think that some people are, but I like men who like to be out and about. I like social men. You know, I'm not on those date sites talking about, oh, I want a man to just go to church. Well, a man to go to church to me probably might not plan a really exciting date.
Wow.
He might take you to dinner. Right, you might go to dinner. But I mean, all of the things that are considered sins and stuff, you know, I don't know what else you're gonna do.
Well, see, that's why you get to know somebody before you do all that. You know, even if it's on the phone or whatever, you get to know their likes and everything. You know, sometimes I feel they might be a cop out or something.
I agree.
Because you that's we jumping stuff so quick. Get to know this woman first. See her lifestyle. Everybody eats.
Yes,
you know, hey, you know, I want you to follow the proper dating etiquette. You don't have to make me feel so special, but I want to feel that you're interested in me. I want you to, I don't want it to be, oh, since you're driving by, just come on, stop it. No, I want you to put something in it because I want to see how you do, if you're consistent with me and everything else. And then, you know, I'll, you know, sometimes plan the date. I'll take you out, you know. I want you to go first.
There's a difference between wanting to feel special, and I'm not saying that there isn't a phenomenon of maybe, I think it's younger people with this, everything must be a big expedition of love and showing up. I don't know if it's necessarily the 40s and 50s and beyond, but there's a difference between special and do you know me? Can you think about the things that I would like to do? Do you take my likes into consideration like I take your likes into consideration? And if you do, then you should be able to plan a nice date that I would enjoy because you know what I like. Just like I would plan a nice date that you would like, even if it's something that I necessarily wouldn't do.
Right. Well,
How often do you plan the great dates that the men like to know that you're so great at it?
I've done it.
I said how much? Once or twice can be an anomaly, but is it a consistent thing that you always succeed at?
I'm a giver, so I enjoy doing for others, and I also like having things done for me.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as somebody is doing for me, it's the same amount of effort that I give to them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they mention I would like this or that, I'm doing my research to see, you know, what's the next great thing that's coming up that's associated with something that's come up in one of our conversations.
Right. I want to throw this out to my fellow guests. And thinking of, and you triggered this, when you said something, the 80-20 rule, okay? What I find with couples is that they can really start focusing on the 20% deficit as compared to the 80%. This is solid.
I think we losing focus in this conversation. It's been a lot of relationship conversation and only half maybe dating conversation. So
But it's the reason why I'm going that way.
Okay.
And then
I mean, I don't mean just you.
We gonna hop
I'm
on
saying all of us.
with the next date because I got plenty of dating stuff. I've been single for 3 years.
All right. But see, it gives a foundation regarding dating because if you know that 20%, even though somebody said it was 20%, say it's the sex. Say if I had a mate, she does everything I want to cook, to clean, take care of the kids, balance the budget, takes care of the house, whatever, but she's not a porno star in the bedroom. Even though mentally I might be thinking that 80% is solid, but I cheated on her with someone else. You're my wife, but I cheated on you with Karen because Karen provided that 20% that's really my 80%. I thought the cooking and cleaning meant everything. But now that I'm back in the dating world, do I start renegotiating saying, no, I want somebody who's a little bit more free-spirited in the bedroom. I thought the cooking and cleaning meant, but now that I got grown kids, maybe that isn't my focus anymore. I want to have fun.
But aren't you now talking about your non-negotiables? Because some of that is a non-negotiable. What is it that I know I cannot go without? Whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how great this person may be, but if I'm not getting this,
Correct.
it's going to dissolve.
Absolutely.
I can't stay there.
i.e. we're divorcing in our 50s.
So I want to just hop back in here with the whole dating thing, just real quick before we go to Inyatu. So, and it took me years to learn how to say his name right, but anyway, I think that dating, as we're talking about men planning dates and just planning dates in general, so I think that not only is it to make you feel some kind of way, whether it's special or desired or wanted, whatever, but I look at dating as a glimpse into somebody's life. So if a guy says, where do you want to go? My standard answer for many, many decades now has always been, take me to your favorite place. Because his favorite place is going to tell me something about him.
Yes.
You know, if his favorite place is Wendy's, that's what so, you know, and I'm just saying,
Don't
you
be
know.
front on the phone.
Right. We must allow Wendy's.
Or if we wind up at a sports bar, or if we wind up on a dinner boat, or if we wind up barbecuing at the lakefront, you know, all of them, well, except for Wendy's. I'm not really a Wendy's fan. Culver's, but anyway. But I mean, so I love barbecuing at the lakefront. But I mean, it just tells you something about who they are. I really like for the date to really reflect who he is. I don't need you to take me to a 200-300, standard commercial date, because, clearly I'm in my 40s or 50s. I've been eating for a long time. I've ate a whole lot of stuff, So I'm not worried about having the best steak, because I've probably had at least one of those already. I really want to know who you are. Show me a little glimpse into who you are. I'm not coming to your house for a barbecue now. We're going to have to barbecue at the park. But, if that was something that he came up with, I would not be against it. Just like I'm the woman that y'all talk about. If we meet online and I ain't never seen you in person, I am perfectly fine with a coffee date.
Coffee date.
Because first of all, I don't like everybody like that. I don't have chemistry with everybody like that. And I don't want to waste no more than 20 or 30 minutes.
I want to be in public. I want to be somewhere that I feel safe and it's easy. And an easy escape if I need
Or
to
breakfast.
make one.
I'll do a breakfast date too. All of those are quick. They're not expensive. I don't know nowhere where you could really go and get an expensive breakfast. What would that be?
I can tell you.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Well, I ain't had no breakfast yet.
That's right.
Anyway, let's go ahead on. Inyatu, come on, tell us about dating.
Oh, man. So, dating in your 40s and 50s, I think it depends on what you're looking for. I think if you want to date, meaning that's what you're in it for, is dating, which is getting to know people that you may enjoy and may enjoy you, what a time to be alive. There's so much access. Men and women, if you're a handsome man and you got a little dating budget, man, and you're not necessarily just trying to jump into a marriage, you want to date and meet new women, and you can have a ball in the world we live in right now. You can meet a woman in Chicago, you can meet a woman in California, Atlanta, Florida, all over the country. Every time you go somewhere, you can be connected with somebody for a happy hour or some drinks at 40 years old. And people are starting to become empty nesters. My son will be 22 in less than a week, maybe next Friday or something like that. And so the world is your oyster in that regard. And so when I was dating, I mostly enjoyed myself tremendously. It is.
She's looking at you like, okay,
Women are shy or holy, and so for you talking about that 20%, you can.
She looking like she met him on a date.
I've never been on a dating site. I've never had a profile on a dating site. I'm just a social person. Honestly, during my dating space, I never would look at a woman and be like, oh, she's beautiful. I got to get to know her and then go ask her for her number and talk to her. I'm in like an energy universe thing. And so whenever I would place my eyes on a woman and say I want it to happen, organically, it would come about. Sometimes that same week, sometimes 6 months later, sometimes 5 years later, it would just come back around. But it's so much out there. There's no reason to be chasing this or that. I like the nice restaurants. So a lot of women who've gone out with me have gone out to nice restaurants, but I'll ask them about the one that they like. I think like how Xavia thinks. Like, I want you to see how I get down. Plus, if I don't like it, it needs to be a place I like, right? So at least I enjoy the food and the drinks if I don't like you, which has happened as well. been on some dates where I went to the bathroom and was like, do not sneak out of here. Don't leave this lady sitting at this table. I don't care how crazy this is driving you, how weird this is. Stick it out and, just deal with your traumas. Man, that happened to me 2 or 3 times. But anyway, at the time I decided I wanted a relationship and a partnership, and I decided that because I was just looking back at my life, and although I had so much fun, and even I had some meaningful connections, and even some meaningful relationships, at the end of it, I was just single, and nothing had been built. Mm-hmm. So outside of fun, enjoyment, and experience, I was building sandcastles that always would eventually blow away. And I realized that even though I felt like some of those connections were really deep and some friendships were formed underneath the romance, that there was a glass ceiling on how far I could go as long as I was moving like that. And I had a vision about what the other side might look like if you truly knew a person well enough to really compliment them, if you truly understood a person enough to be able to partner with them, and the level of trust can really go a lot further when there's something permanent being built. You can't look, you're going to start investing in real estate with somebody you dating for 6 months. It's only so much that you can do. And so it was at that point that I started to get frustrated, because even and for those who don't know, I'm a dating and relationship consultant and a premarital marriage counselor, but even as Hitch, I was struggling to curate the type of relationship that I wanted. But it wasn't because of the dating pool. I realized it because I had a traumatic attraction to power struggles and toxicity. And I won't say toxic women, but situations that were not as healthy for me. And so it wasn't until I realized that fully and how I kept repeating it that I was able to really work on it with a therapist and to overcome it. And then I got lucky, and somebody who I've loved all my life, my first love, when I took the prom, things went from not being the right time for all of that time to finally being the right time. And that has given me a tremendous advantage and put me in a unbelievably fantastic situation. I said to her the other day, we was in the room for my birthday, I'm like, this is the honeymoon stage, and she's like, it doesn't have to stop or whatever, but the communication, I think, is, everything else is like the icing on the cake. The communication is so good, and the understanding is so good, and that's because we had a friendship all that time. We never stopped being friends. Our sons are like a year apart, so we would just talk to each other about parenthood and stuff like that, just occasionally, but
so from prom so how long have y'all been together now?
I'm not gonna say, no, just a few months.
Okay, all
so
right.
From prom to my sophomore year in college.
That's come back around. That's a long time. You never even think about. I don't never even think about those people back then.
Can I ask you guys, since you guys are professionals? Yeah, I'm so sorry. Do you find that, I won't say men, I say people don't change themselves, they change people. They change the people that dating in their life, because I know it's probably a hard thing to swallow. They know that they need to change things about themselves, but instead of doing so, they just change parts.
Right.
Yeah, because that's easier. I find that men and women do that. They deal with a person, and during that honeymoon phase, it's cool enough and fun enough for you to deal with it. But eventually, some real work has to be put in. I don't care how compatible. I don't care if it's a 30-year history. Work definitely has to be put in, and at that point, people, they get exposed, and when you get exposed, either you grow or you run to the next thing and just start over. So that is truly a thing. I think people are lazy about doing the work. I think people are lazy about communicating. I wanted to comment on that earlier about what Okira was saying. And people don't have the tools. Like, listening is that's not a talent, and it's not a given. It is a skill to be able to push all your projection and all your lens out of your head and hear what a person's saying and only interpret their sentences based on the standardized English language, right? Because otherwise, when people assign different definitions and meanings, you know, I need a Karen dictionary, then I have the English dictionary, or the Yatu dictionary, or the Khalid dictionary.
The conversation cat, I think, is having a conversation.
Leave me alone, cat daddy.
I see you over there like, I don't want to jump up off this couch.
You know what, I wanna talk about what Karen asked. What I've learned and observed, and this is a statement that I've made for a long time. We date and marry patterns, not people. So I'm reinforcing what you just said. That's exactly it. When I found my niche, I don't want to go beyond my niche. And for us men, we like comfortability. When you go into a house, what does a man love? That couch and that remote control and his favorite drink. He'll be there every night, same time, same place and space. Right? For the most part.
I'm kidding.
So like challenging me all
I
the time.
like challenging everybody.
Jeez,
I like challenging.
Louise.
I ain't even got a challenge.
Wow.
This is going I got some questions. I'm not
Okay,
really
got
challenging.
But think about simplicity for men. They want it as simple as
Absolutely.
possible so that they can have a routine and they don't really want it to be.
Absolutely, because it works for them.
Right.
You know, and that's why when the divorces take place, out of the 15, 14 of the divorces were from the women who filed for the divorce. Because men was like, I can be in this misery as long as I sit on the couch with my remote control and my drink.
I like excited.
You know what I'm saying? So what happens is that, so now, again, with the 15 male clients, I'm saying, men, what are you going to do differently so that you won't keep attracting the same women? Get out of your patterns. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, and I want to throw this out. Okira and I have a friend, and when I got divorced 12 years ago, he said, Khalid, have you started dating? But he didn't use the word dating. He used a nasty word, right?
He said,
He's saying a mutual friend, not a serious mutual friend.
Right. And so I said, no, man, I'm healing. I'm going through the grief process. So he said something very profound, which I've shared with you multiple times. He said, Khalid, get ready. You're going to date black women, right? Yes. You're going to date black women around our age. Yes, because that's my comfort zone. And that's what I like. He said, but understand this, Khalid. You're going to date the women that men like me have destroyed.
Wow.
And I said, bro, that's a strong adjective to use. He said, Khalid, I have 8 kids by 6 women. I didn't marry not one of them. You don't think I've destroyed black women? And I said, wow, well, at least you said it out loud. So then when I finally started to date, guess what I was seeing?
the women that he had destroyed?
Yes. I heard all, and because I'm a therapist, I guess I got please talk over dinner. So I kept hearing what Daryl did, what Earl did, what Kenneth did, what Okira did, what Yatu did.
He ain't nothing about what I did.
You know, I'm like, how dare that beat?
They walk in with me and they walk out better people.
I got you, absolutely.
I'm telling you.
But I just found it amazing.
You sticking to it?
No, that's the truth. That's what I've been told.
Gotcha. But I want to know, have we really took the time in our 40s and 50s to really start a healing process of the dating and relationship woes that we experience in our 20s and 30s and so on?
This,
If we don't, we're gonna repeat the cycle.
There you go.
were you about to?
I'm gonna get my little date thing out because we are actually after 1 o'clock already.
Oh,
Yeah, it
Wow.
go quick. So, dating. I enjoy dating. I do not think that a relationship has to be the goal of every dating experience. You're going on a date to get to know that person. And that's what it's about. I like to go on a date, have a good time, have a great conversation, because clearly I like good conversations. And so now, doing this, that I do all the time and been doing for years. If somebody comes with a lame conversation, it's easy to lose my attention because I got so much other stuff going on. So I need the good conversation. I want him to take me somewhere that he's comfortable taking me, because I can, you know, I know some people, you know, insist on going to the Ruth Chris's and the other stuff, you know, but I just want to be where he's comfortable at, because ultimately in real life, if I'm dating him for real, this is where we're going to really be, you know. And so I need to see if I can be in the spaces that he's comfortable being in. Because if he take me to Wendy's and he's like, yeah, and he's, you know, waving at the fry dude and stuff, that's probably not.
This is the second time you mentioned Wendy's. Have you had that experience with somebody who's trying not
So,
Trauma.
an ex of mine, he told me, so he was, you know, the little player mentality before we, whatever. Anyway, he said, most women are okay with going through Wendy's drive-through, ordering from the dollar menu or that holler thing, whatever that is. He said, just so they get the time with you.
to.
So you got,
ain't never gonna.
you got men that have that mentality, you know, and so that's, I guess that's why Wendy's keep coming up, because he actually said that to me. Because he said I was bougie because I like Culver's. Like,
I'm not even quite sure if my children
have ever been
would
to?
prefer Wendy's when I was taking them to restaurants when they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah, because I'm, you know, I am a fast food person if I'm busy and I'm running around throughout the day and I'm starving and I need to grab something because I'm on my way between here and there, and maybe there's no food at that next place. You know, like this morning I got up and ate hummus because I know I'm not gonna eat till about 2:30, 3 o'clock. All right, but anyway, so dating has been exciting for me, kind of like Inyatu said back then, because I've been in relationships most of my life. And so, like I said, I've been single for 3 years now, which is a long time for me, you know, and I am enjoying the peace. I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy not having anybody asking me where I'm going when I'm coming back, or calling me and telling me to pick something up for them. So then I got to rearrange my schedule to accommodate something. I am happy not having to consider anybody else's feelings. Now, am I open to a relationship? I'm open to it, but it would really have to just evolve. Kind of like with you and your prom date, it would really have to just evolve into stuff. And your girl, yeah, it would have to evolve just from the grassroots. We'd have to get together, hang out, and it just turn into that over time. But I'm not, you know how people are out here dating for with a purpose and all that stuff? I ain't dating with no purpose.
That's what I was going to
My purpose is to have a good time, you know, have great conversation. And if I run into one of those dudes that, you know, but we got to be 50-50 and all that stuff, I will just have them separate the check and pay for mine, period. I don't need you to go 50 on none of my stuff. And I had that situation where I went in the bathroom and tried to talk myself out of leaving. I didn't win that conversation. I did leave.
How you have a good conversation? All they do is, how you doing? How's your day? How's it going?
Good morning, beautiful. Text. I said, please don't text me
Come
anymore.
on with some.
See, and I'm a texter. So
I get good morning handsome all the time. I never complain.
good morning, something, brother. I feel like,
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like, and it could, because, okay,
You don't switch your life story. So what happened when you was a little girl? Like,
But I feel like at least you are one of the people, you are at least one of the people that's still in their thoughts in the morning. Because, you know, I call it batches. So y'all know who my daddy was. My daddy,
Expectations.
they were a different kind of breed. So I was raised, my mama didn't have much to do with teaching me about relationships and dating and men and women and all that kind of stuff. So my dad was pretty known in the city that I grew up in, and his brothers were as well. They were well employed, and apparently somebody thought they was cute. I mean, it's my daddy, my uncle, so it's whatever. But so the texting part for me, you have what I call batches. So you meet batches of people, right? So you might not be dating nobody, and all of a sudden you get a whole batch. You know, it might be two. No, batch. It's like a group.
See, multiple
You
people.
get a group of people.
Oh,
See, meaning,
You just kind of like will collect these people because you know
You
you
know,
like.
like you can go through dry spells and then all of a
And
sudden,
you get
when
back.
it's like when it rains, of course.
And
it's like
sometimes you get
10 of
a
them
good
when
batch,
there's nobody.
right? Sometimes you get a good batch, and you text them every morning. So you still in that person's batch because you know for sure if they're not thinking about you no more, they have an option who they
Check
send,
somebody
they
else.
probably
need more
copy,
than that. You need
they
more
copy
than that,
and
though.
pasted that and they
You need more than that.
So I'm speaking from my
To do
viewpoint
what?
and how I just relate to
If we try
the
to
things
do
that my
each other,
dad
just texting me that,
told-
I don't care
told
about
me.
my thoughts. Okay,
So
do something
I
with
have
it.
an option to not text you. I have an option to not text you. So if I text you, good morning, handsome, then you still, that's not all I'm gonna talk about. And I never really, can't remember having no dude in any of my batches that couldn't have a conversation. Everybody has a conversation. And sometimes people, and you know, if I am not really in the mood to talk to somebody, then that conversation is gonna probably fall flat anyway. Because if I say, how you doing, and you say, I'm good,
Mhm.
You leave it right there.
that's it.
Right.
It's like, okay,
How
well, he
was
must
your
not feel
day?
like talking.
How you doing?
You know,
I was-
I think that one of the problems with dating is people want to microwave stuff when things need to be cooked in the oven.
Mm.
And so when people are, you meet people, it's like people want to rush the chemistry, they want to rush the connection, they want to rush everything. And so like let's just say you have a batch of people. You go about it pretty much in the beginning at your convenience, in my opinion, because people act like they want to be really important to a stranger.
Right.
I am a stranger, you are a stranger to me. You have not earned importance yet, just because you are attractive. I walk down the street and I can see 5 to 10 women who are attractive,
Thank you.
or who is polite, or who is whatever. I mean,
My man.
it's 5 in here right now. So it's not like, it's like, it doesn't make, you know, because I said something to you, or because, you know, you are attractive, it doesn't make you important, or just, and I think that's the problem, is that when people, they meet somebody, it's like they want you to tend to them as if you got 2, 3, 4, 5 months in already. Like, no, people got things to do. And so I remember when I would go on dates or whatever, or when I would meet somebody, and let's just say it could be the day before we go on a date, and they may cancel. And they like, you know, hey, you know, something came up or whatever. All right, cool. I can always find something to do.
Right.
You know, anybody would, like, you know, look halfway decent, you know, you got some money to spend or extra money to spend, you can always find something to do. But everybody finds a way to be offended by things because somebody don't want to make a stranger the most important thing in their life at the time. You know, as long as it's not a disrespectful act, like you arrive to the place and then they just don't show up. But if somebody gives you some time or whatever, you know, okay, I can catch you next week.
You know what? It's extending grace to human beings. too.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
it's how
Even
you-
if I can add to that, if a man likes you, y'all just met, he likes you, you like him, how does he know that you like him back? Because we gotta pursue y'all, we gotta get the number, we gotta initiate the conversation, we gotta carry the conversation, we gotta ask you out on a date, we gotta pay for a date. Where does you indicating that you like them back into the picture?
I think that's a good question. And
This is
Like,
you saying,
because I think they waiting for you to show some interest through conversation,
with me,
right?
once I-
Right? It's
once
like,
I
okay,
see-
does she like me or she just want me to take her on a
Trying to
date?
answer your question.
Go ahead.
Once I see that you are seriously getting to know me and you consistent, whatever, then I start doing the same. And then I will ask you out. I would, you know, give you that text, how you doing? I will call you. So that's how you would know. And then you can know that, you can feel the energy if a woman likes you.
And so, how do you guys know that the energy these men are getting from you is that you don't really like them? You're open to letting them take you out on a date. You're open to letting them, seeing if they will do some things to impress you, so to see if you like them, but they don't feel any real like from you right now at this moment. So they hitting you with "Good morning, beautiful," and that's it. And the person who's giving them some extra conversation, not like she said, "How you doing? Good," and then period, and that's it. Somebody who's like engaging them, then they're more likely to plan. When you were young and in high school and there wasn't all this access, you had to pursue a woman before you got to know her at all. We don't live in that world anymore. I know a woman who wants her dating experience right now to go like it did in high school. He fell in love with you at the lockers and went crazy over you right then and there and didn't know nothing about you. Man, good luck.
Yeah.
If a man loved himself,
But
he's not
here's
about to do that.
But here's the thing. You can say good morning, whatever. How was your day? Are you having a good day? What's your work? Anything. You can have another sentence besides good morning
How you doing?
to introduce or start a conversation. Once you do that, you ask the open-ended question, you get feedback. If a person doesn't respond back to you, then clearly they're not interested, or maybe they can have a conversation at that time. But most of these people are sending text messages.
So what's y'all's
Just
allergy
good
to when they say good morning, beautiful? What's your allergy to kicking off a conversation, doing just what you just said? It's not
I will
hard
do that.
saying good morning and
If it's somebody that I'm interested, I'll say good morning, and then there's a second sentence behind it to try to elicit some engagement. But I'm not going to pull your teeth to get you
And
to
if you
talk
gotta
to
pull
me.
teeth, then I'm not gonna lose interest anyway.
I
If
think
it's
that's how
really
men feel.
difficult-
Like if I gotta pull
No,
my
no,
teeth,
no,
It's
no.
difficult to
If
get
you
that conversation.
contact a woman and you think she's beautiful and everything, don't you think other people gonna think she's beautiful and try to
So?
let her time, trying to give her time, and all you saying is, hey, beautiful. Now, if he first started out and say, hey, beautiful, this is first text, and then I'll,
man, it's a lot of beautiful women
So,
out
you know,
here.
so then there's
it's hard to stand out just
There's the
on
opposite
that.
side. So women, and somebody said you have to really know who you are, you know, and knowing who you are and loving yourself. You know, people don't understand where loving yourself puts you. So if I got to pull teeth with him, and whether there's other men that want me or other women that want him, it's about what I want ultimately. And so if I'm pulling teeth with him, then I'm just done with him. It don't matter how fine he is, what else he got going on. That's just what. But right now, you're not what I want. Now that don't mean I can't run into him somewhere. He be like, hey, you know what? It was a busy time in life, because I definitely understand busy times in life, and I just didn't really have time. But you know, I really like to, you know, whatever he said. And then I'm open to that because I'm not really looking for anything specific. So I'm just open to what the universe aligns for me, and if the universe brings him back and gives him enough nerve to say something to this Leo, then we can roll with
But
it.
that's different. That is so different. It's you give people the space and the grace to
Be who
potentially
they are.
to be who they are, potentially circle back if you're open to it. But in the moment, you're not going to do this arm wrestling of
No,
how we're going to have a communication. It's either we're going to communicate
but we not.
or we're not.
So it sounds like communication is like.
Well, if the men don't feel like it's an arm wrestling thing, you know, only the women feel it. And I'm saying all this not being a texture. I won't ask a woman out on a date unless we've had 3 meaningful conversations that went longer. To I looked at my phone like, hey, we've been talking for a while. I gotta get on. I gotta go. If it's not doing all that, then
Yeah, when you do that, you know that it's-
I would be one of the guys you saying can't plan a date.
But okay,
Because
so
I don't want to find out that I don't like you. That's why it's only happened a
And
few
waste
times
your
where I
money.
went out on a date and I'm in the mirror like I gotta go.
yeah,
Because normally I have that full conversation where I know if I'm gonna enjoy it.
You're supposed to set some sort of foundation.
Sure.
y'all,
In the
Some
beginning.
men just bring
Y'all.
something that could
y'all,
Uh-oh.
it's actually 1:30. And I still got one more little thing that I want to do, because, you know, we talk about dating in our 40s and 50s, but when you look back into your 20s and 30s, how much different is it? So you did mention your daughter. So I told Trinity, my social media manager, that I was gonna call her over here.
Oh, like in the
Yeah,
camera?
yeah, come on, you look cute. And so talk to us about what dating is like for a 25-year-old.
I hate it here. Okay. No, okay. I feel like the man, if that's what we're gonna call him, the young man, they're just not mature. I feel like women mature faster. So me being 25, dating a 25-year-old, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm maybe starting to listen to my friends dating older. I might go for a 30-year-old, 31. But no. Oh, I'm like, okay.
But it makes sense.
So what does maturity look like at 25?
Well, first of all, real income where you have like checks, you have a car, none of this hustling in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Big money, that's one. You know, you want to further your education. You know, a lot of people, young men these days, they try to make the quick buck. Like I said, hustling or like something of that sort. But if I'm first, I want some.
I wish my son.
Don't get me started.
I wish my son.
Don't get me started. But I just want to meet somebody on my level. Even though I'm young, but it's like, why do I have to stoop down to you. It's like, meet me up here where I'm at. You know, I'm trying to further myself, continue my education,
She has
climb
2
up the
degrees
corporate
already.
ladder. Okay, appreciate you, Xavia. You know what I'm saying? Can I get somebody with one? Just a background and commonality. You just looked at how they're raised. It's a few dudes I talk to, and I'm like, I don't know yet. Then I go around their family, and I'm like, oh, absolutely not.
Yep.
And I can see exactly why.
Yeah.
You know, you got their mom trying to spark up a joint with them. You know, it's toxic. So I'm struggling, but I'm living real love and listening to y'all today. I mean,
I don't know if we gave you hope or not.
just some good advice
Yeah.
on my journey.
Yeah.
But it's fun though. But
Thank you for that.
My son would say the opposite, that the young women want scammers and rappers who can afford to buy them a $15,000 bag.
Would you like to say something?
Those are the airheads. Those are the airheads. That's who wants that.
Well, you know, 750 young men graduated from Harvard this year. You know what I mean? You know, who we attract and who we talk to. There are some men with as many degrees as her. There are some men, there are actually probably more men her age that make more money than she does than there are women that are her age. It's on the way to changing, but right now men still make the most money. I don't know if people know that. Like there's a
No, we
misconception.
understand that there's still.
Yeah, it's more men making more money than women because women like all these men broke.
But you know, the NFL, all the sports teams are primarily men. We had this conversation. I was like, He said, so how many women are in the NFL and NBA? You know, all of those men are making millions of dollars. So technically, I guess, you know.
Yes, and that's a whole different conversation because when you start talking about athletes and people in those type of industries, they also start to think that they deserve any and everything. Like if there's no
Like
limitation, yeah, like women, they believe like not only is the world is their oyster, but they're supposed to have the whole sea all at one time, and not everybody's gonna go for that, nor should they.
Guys,
I wish we could rewind the tape. Not everybody's, not even men, are going to always go for that because I think women don't have to make $1 million to feel that same way. That it's amazing to me that women can see that some men feel important and maybe like they're the prize and these expectations they can have it their way when the average woman is carrying herself that way. Entitlement is what I said at the very beginning. There's a ton of entitlement about what people deserve. And I think one of the biggest problems in dating is people aren't able to enter it with a blank canvas. That we want the person we're meeting right now to make up for all the BS that we experienced for the last 20 years. And it's not starting from ground zero, which is why the expectation is so much. I mean, we have become lazy about letting people get to know us. However old you are, you feel like you're fabulous, you know you're fabulous, you've improved to all types of people, you've been fabulous over the years, and so you want somebody to get that immediately and treat you accordingly.
And we're always looking for somebody to make us happy, and you know,
Truly let them out.
nobody's gonna make you happy if you're not happy inside. Go ahead.
Guys, this conversation is wonderful. But we got 2 babies here who are my daughter's age. So what I want to end this with, right? What advice, because she just asked, would you tell a 20-something-year-old based on your years of experience of dating and being in relationships? And what I would tell you 2 beautiful young ladies is this: love you. That's what I tell Anaya Scott every day. Love you first. Walk in dignity. I don't care what the trend is. I don't care what the trend says, that long eyelashes and the long hair. Men are foundational. We want a woman who looks like our mama, who looks like our grandmama, right? We want you to have a confidence. We want to know that when I come home and you're still listening to your aunties and your sisters telling you, girl, don't cook for a man. If I've shown myself worthy, go in there and make me something to eat, and then watch me belch as I eat that meal that you made out of love and concern and hope for me. And then I'll give you everything I want, because then it sets you apart from the rest of what's out here. Us 3 men, we are unicorns. That's why Xavia is close to us. That's why she loves us, because we're not that yo dude. We are men of substance.
See yourself as the prize.
They are
You
being
are
assessed.
fine.
Yes.
Okay,
Keep my girl.
do we have any questions on there?
Okay, hold on. Y'all answer one. Are you guys dating at this age just for fun or for marriage? I think you said that. And then is it more difficult to date someone with or without kids at this age?
I will
think-
not date a man with young kids.
What's young to you?
Well, under 18 under 18 is a complete no. But if they have kids in there that's in college, that's still at home and they're kind of treating them like kids, that's a no as well. So if you in college and you staying at home and your mama or daddy is, well, your daddy, because I ain't gonna date your mama, but your mama your daddy's taking you to school all the time and fixing your lunch and all of that kind of stuff, whatever, you know, if you're still parenting pretty much. Because the thing with kids, you know, after my husband was killed, I was a single parent as well. So what I know is that kids take a lot of time and a lot of money. And I've raised my kids. My youngest daughter is 32. So my kids grown, and on their own, I got 6 grandkids. And so at this point in my life, I want to be somebody else's priority because somebody else has been my priority pretty much all my life. You know, I had my first kid at 18. So I am not looking to share my man with nobody. Period.
I would date
So-
men with kids, whatever, because I wouldn't want anybody to not. What if somebody, my mama out here trying to date somebody? I don't want to date your mama because of you. You know, I don't hold that against them because that was in their past.
How young would you go?
I was gonna say that's my question because you know people say if they under 2, they still mess around with their baby mama. So do
It
you
could
believe
be,
in that?
It could be, but guess what? I got married being pregnant with somebody else's child.
Oh.
Somebody married me at 9 months. So, man, and it was hard being pregnant without the father around. That was like some mental, you know, then the postpartum and stuff like that. So I guess because of that, I mean, I would never, I mean, the pickings are slim. This could be the best man in the world for you. It could be the man God sent to you, or have you perceive it. And I don't know.
God ain't sent it to
Not
me.
for me.
God sent it.
Definitely not.
At least you know what you want. At least you know
Absolutely,
what
I
you
do
want.
know what I want and I know what I don't. I know more. So back in my 30s, I had a mentor. I used to always tell him, I said, I know what I want. He said, you're not old enough to know what you want. You haven't had enough life experience yet. He said, you know some of what you don't want right now, but you don't know all of what you want because there's so much in life that you haven't experienced.
That was the
yet.
advice I was about to give you. If you're 25, you're 4 years old at being an adult. You've only been a legal adult for 4 years. And so who you are from, 10 to 20 is not who you're going to be from 20 to 30. And so, yeah. So this is a really transformative and experimental period in young adults' lives. And so when you don't really know who you are, it's really hard to gauge what's best for you, like really long term. You can gauge what's best for you right now in a moment, but it may be difficult to pick a partnership that'll last decades when you're 20s. It happens.
It happens.
But most people in that age group, they're still figuring it out.
But the thing is that your gut does not lead you astray. And I would say this emphatically. If you know in your hearts of hearts that this is not something that you really like, whatever it is, right? You just instantly know. Don't try to make a peg fit into a square or a square fit into a circle. Don't do it. Because that means that you're going to have to take something away from yourself in order to be compatible with this person. And eventually, it's going to crack. And it could, if you're fortunate, it could crack slightly and you can go away kind of unscathed. But most of the times, when you try to force things, the crack happens terribly and you leave with a bigger life wound than what you had to have experienced.
Nice.
So, everything that looks good is not good for you. There's a lot of fool's gold out there.
Who's go?
And what I mean by that is that you have to pay attention to certain feelings if you feel safe, if somebody treats you well, one of the things that like I try to make sure with my daughter is that she understands what it means to feel love. Like, I don't spoil my daughter with a lot of stuff, but I spoil her with love. And so once you understand what like real love and somebody who genuinely loves you feel like, anything that is not that, that is what you walk away from.
Right.
Because a lot of times we like to look at what's shiny, and there's not anything wrong with wanting what's shiny. But if the foundation under that is not like love or caring or protection, then you're going to find out the shiny thing is not going to matter. The shiny thing will never fulfill you. It is only a temporary happiness or joy or whatever, but a lot of times it can come with despair if you're not paying attention to the character of the person who's holding it. And so a lot of times I tell young men, just because she looks good, it doesn't mean she's good for you. And a lot of times that is the thing that we mistake, because when somebody has, like if it's a very fine girl, I can bring her in front of my friends and everybody. My friends can give me all this admiration and this, that, and the other. But, when we get home, she could be talking shit to me or, having sex with a whole lot. And then like the same thing with women. Oh, he bought me this, he bought me that. Then y'all get home and he's calling you stupid or he's beating you or something like that. And it's nothing wrong, because everybody knows, life is easier with money. Life is better if people are attractive or whatever. But at the end of the day, it'll never make you whole.
Yes.
There's a lot of women who had men who was taking care of them, who would be sitting in a dude who's not taking care of the bed because of the way that the man who was taking care of made him feel. And so look for that. Say, I'm just saying.
Yeah, because we at 1:45. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was a great conversation. We might have to do a part 2 with all of this going on. But you are listening to Let's Talk About It with Xavia Fox. If you didn't know, I am Xavia Fox. So you can check us out on Spotify, of course, here on YouTube, Instagram, Xfox Entertainment, and join the Facebook page, Facebook Media and Events. And if you can't remember all of that, just go to XavierFox.com and you can get connected with everything. So real quick, I want everybody to tell you how to contact you. Real quick.
Okay. Khalid Scott on all social media platforms.
In Yatu Marvel, I'm the only one, so my name is definitely gonna pop up.
Karen.
Okera H, Okerah on all platforms. It's only about 2 of us.
Right.
Nikki Brooks, NIKKI Brooks on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, so follow us all and make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube and to Spotify so that you can get the notifications when we do this again. Oh, actually, y'all. So we will be doing for those who have watched the shows, we'll be doing the face-to-face reunion on August 24th. We'll be streaming live at 5 to 8 p.m. on that Saturday. So make sure that you check that out. We won't be doing a show on the 3rd Saturday of August because we'll be doing that face-to-face reunion, and that's going to be a big one. Stay tuned for all of the promos coming out. And until August 24th, stay safe and be